welcome back to the show. Into ASEAN interview, we have an interesting topic coming up, talking about the ongoing situation with Mount Agung in Bali continuing to spew smoke all over. Some updates here, some good news. Airlines have now reopened for passengers who have been stranded as well, to accept more passengers as well. Ever since the 29th of November, the situation at the airports are almost back to normal after a 72-hour pause and hiatus in the situation because of the intensity of the smoke and the uncertainty of the volcanic situation.
ใช่แล้วค่ะในช่วงอาเซียนอินเทอร์วิวค่ะในวันนี้เราจะไปดูในสถานการณ์ที่เกิดขึ้นในบาหลีนั่นเองค่ะหลังจากที่สนามบินที่บาหลีนั่นเองนะคะก็ได้มีการปิดไปทั้งหมด72ชั่วโมงนะคะเมื่อวันที่29พฤศจิกายนทางสนามบินก็ได้เปิดเป็นที่เรียบร้อยแล้วนะคะหลังจากที่ภูเขาไฟอากุงนั่นเองค่ะก็ได้มีควันแล้วก็เท่าฐานที่ลอยออกมานั่นเองก็ทำให้ก็นักท่องเที่ยวนะคะที่ใครที่จะไปที่บาหลีเนี่ยก็ต้องระมัดระวังกันเอาเป็นว่าเดี๋ยวเราไปดูกันนะคะว่าสถานการณ์ที่บาหลีเป็นอย่างไรกันบ้างค่ะ
Families flocked to temporary shelters in Bali's capital, Denpasar, located as far as 70 kilometers from the erupting Mount Agung volcano this week. Over 200 people camped out in a sports hall, watched television to pass the time and to distract themselves from worrying about their future and their loved ones who decided to stay behind to tend to livestock. Many men also stayed back in order to help as volunteers. The National Disaster Mitigation Agency said about 43,000 people heeded advice to take shelter after a 10-kilometer exclusion zone was imposed. But with an estimated population of 90,000 to 100,000 in the danger zone, many had not. Agung looms over eastern Bali to a height of just over 3,000 meters. That's around 9,800 feet. Its last major eruption in 1963 killed more than 1,000 people and razed many villages. December is usually the peak season for tourism in Bali. But this current December has seen deserted beaches, empty restaurants and hotels on the Indonesian island tourist resort, all because of the volcanic eruptions on Mount Agung. The Jimbaran beach used to be an ideal setting for gourmet tourists of fresh seafood at sunset. Most restaurants and grill bars target Chinese as well as Western tourists. But right now, with most volcanic eruption stranded Chinese tourists having departed, what are left behind are just stacks of chairs and dinner tables on empty beach sands. Downtown restaurants fared no better. A popular halal restaurant is now emptied after most stranded Chinese tourists had left on chartered flights. This emptiness deals a heavy blow to this restaurant since its opening. According to figures available from the Chinese Consulate General in Bali, over 13,960 Chinese nationals have left the tourist island resort on chartered flights between November 29th and December 3rd. And what's more, 3 Chinese airlines have cancelled their December tourist flights to Bali from various Chinese cities. Though the absence of Chinese tourists have not affected the mood of local Indonesian holidaymakers, the stay away of the Chinese could impact greatly the Bali tourism industry. Local Bali tour operators have combined to accommodate a planned arrival of up to 1.2 million Chinese tourists and visits centering around the December-January season. But the latest bout of cancellation is sure to affect the tourism industry on the island for at least this winter. Bali Airport has reopened for 2 days, but some tourists are still struggling to leave the holiday island on Friday as of December 1st.
We have already lost our flight to Singapore and we have a flight to Portugal to come back to our country. And we already lose that flight. And they don't give us answer. I asked 5 minutes ago for an answer for if they have some place for us to sleep, and they don't have nothing to us, And we don't know. We're going to live in the airport more 1 or 2 days. They don't give an answer if we have space in the next flight or something.
We booked 3 different flights and they're all cancelled, and hoping today to leave now to go to Kuala Lumpur to go to Australia. I love Bali, but I have small children at home that are getting minded by the grandchildren. I have a 3-year-old and 2 girls, and I need to get home to my children. So I was only here for a 4-day wedding, and now I need to get home. I can't be here for 2 weeks.
Jetstar and its parent Qantas Airways Limited had planned up to 18 flights on Friday to ferry 4,300 passengers home to Australia, including one by a Qantas 747 jet. But 9 Jetstar flights will be cancelled after the sudden change.
And that was the situation going on in Bali. With that said, we're going to end the program for this week, and we'll see you next week. As for now, สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีค่ะ